Hey guys, what's up? We got gear and we're going to the tactical games. We're going to talk about this gear. It sounded really corny, but let's do it. Okay, so not much has changed since the last games. We've added a couple things, we've changed a couple things, but most of this is the same. So I'm going to try to make this as quick and painless as possible. So this is our pre-loadout or whatever. This is the stuff that we're taking. Starting with the core layers of things. I'm not changing that. I'm going to be wearing my merch, right? So my shirt. And these Wrangler pants, which have been awesome. I cannot remember the exact name of these things, but they're at Walmart all over the place. They got different kinds of them. I've got the fleece lined ones right now, but I'm not going to wear those at the games because then I would just get really hot and sweaty and nasty. But these have a little bit of a flex and a give to them, a little breathability to them. Really like them, highly recommend them, and they're only like 20-ish, 25 bucks. Yeah, okay. And they don't scream tactical. I don't like that kind of stuff. That's clothes. Shoes. I ran these last time, the Solomons. Love these shoes. Obviously, they're getting a little bit tore up. I'm going to bring them if something crazy happens. I also have some Merrells, but they're a little bit nicer, and I don't want to mess them up, so they'll be my backup, and I'll run these until they actually fall apart completely. Moving on from there, let's go plate carrier. I believe you have to have 15 pounds on your carrier, not on your carrier. Your carrier itself has to weigh 15 pounds. Without mags, I believe this thing weighs about 18 last time I checked, something like that. So I'm totally within weight. It's the exact same rig that I'm running as I did last time, so I'm not really worried about that. I like the Slickster mainly because in its name, as its name implies, it's slick. It's more form-fitting than some other big, bulky carriers out there. I don't want a bunch of pouches and stuff and things hanging off of me. That's not what this one's about. Like if you use a plate carrier for your actual work or something, you might need pouches and things and stuff to put things. For the games, you don't. You just need magazines. That's it. One note on that is I will bring this. This is their front kangaroo pouch or whatever they want to call this thing. I can't remember. But it has the, I think it's the Haley Strategic. I think they're D3. I can't remember. The little inserts, which work very well to re-index your magazine, hold your magazines. It works well, but it does stick out an extra little bit. And I remember last time, I could be remembering this wrong, but I remember last time we had a big old wall we had to crawl over or jump up and climb over. And as I was pulling myself over the top, it was trying to catch on these mags. I can't remember if I was wearing this particular setup or that setup. I want to say it was that one. And if you really, really cranked on this, you could, I mean, this is only held on by Velcro. You could rip this thing off. However, you're supposed, I mean, the way this thing is worn, you have your cummerbund goes over and secures over the top of it with two pieces, and it holds, that's what's holding your vest on. So if you're going to rip off your mags, you're basically going to rip off your entire plate carrier. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the pros of this thing being slick and slimline outweigh the possibility that you might rip that thing off. So I'm going to run these things as is, like this right now. Unless something happens, then I'll run those, but that'll just be a, I don't know. I'm not thinking of changing anything out. They got weird rules. I don't think you can change anything out anyway. They're weird. Moving on from there, we got the war belt. This is a 3-belt system, same exact thing we ran last time. On the inside, you have a Black Hawk Velcro. And the actual belt is a Condor. The Condor worked just fine. Inside the Condor, which actually holds the whole system together, is just, I can't remember exactly who makes this. I think it's a Black Hawk too, I think. Anyway, but it's just a rescue belt, right? With the, what's this, a D-loop or whatever. I don't really think I need the D-loop, or I'm not gonna be rappelling with this thing, even though I have. It's fine. It just holds the whole system together. For pistol magazines, they're gonna go in this, I think it's, probably mispronounce it, one Tigris, whatever. But just, it holds 3 magazines. That's all you really need. And if you need more, you can stick them in your rifle magazine pouch, or you can stick them on the little cummerbund pouches if you need them, right? There's no hooks or loops or straps or things really that hold the magazines in. It's just kind of this piece of elastic that loops over each magazine pouch. And it really does a perfectly fine job of keeping these things in. For the games, it's fine. I'm not jumping out of airplanes. I'm not doing anything crazy like that, so I don't need to do that. But for the games, this will be fine. Same thing with this rifle mag pouch. It's just an eBay special. I can't remember. It was pretty cheap, and I remember last time I was able to break it in, you know, run it and actually have some stuff fall off of it, screw it back in, Loctite it. It's been rock solid ever since. I don't have any issue with it. Don't plan on changing it. For a drop pouch or a dump pouch, I have this one. I think it's a Condor. I can't remember. It's sufficient for what I need. Last time, I don't think I even used it. I try to re-index all my mags. I try not to use this. I had a buddy of mine who was using it last time, and he had stuff bouncing out of his when he was running around. So it's not that I don't trust these. It's just that I would prefer you start out with all your magazines in some kind of a carrier, whether it's on your plate carrier or it's on your magazine pouches. My idea is just put the magazine back where you got it, basically. Yeah, that's my theory, but then I have this as a backup. The business end over here, we're running, I believe it's a Ragnarok from T-Rex Arms. Again, if it's not broke, don't fix it. This thing ran fine last time. It's just a simple, I'll get the term wrong, but a compression fit, right? It just squeezes the gun. There's no buttons or switches or levers or anything that holds the gun in. It's just friction, right? It's just friction holding it in. Worked fine. And I do run a leg strap just because I don't want this thing flopping around. Just kind of helps keep everything nice and secure. Moving on from there. Okay, an iPro. Last time, again, it's probably getting boring hearing me say that, but I ran Oakley's. I ran these last time. I'm going to run them this time. I don't see any reason to change it. These are they're not big old bulky ones. They're going to obscure my side. Like I got some Oakley gas cans and they have the big side piece, and it kind of obscures your vision a little bit, honestly. And they fall off my head really easy. If I shake my head, those things will come flying off. These have rubbery texture on the side of the flak jackets. But I've had these for a long time and they've worked very well. I've had them long enough that I've scratched up and messed up the lenses. So these lenses aren't Oakley lenses. They're just from eBay, whatever they were. But they work just fine. And I prefer running just clear lenses, because if you're having to go inside or all of a sudden you get cloud cover or whatever happens, to me, I would rather wear a hat and glasses and maybe have to squint every now and then or something, versus not being able to see and having to like try to peek over the top of my glasses. I don't like having to do that. So I run clears. I know a lot of people don't, but whatever, I do. For Ear Pro, I ran these last time, the Axle. I can't remember the actual model of these things, but these worked really well. If I'm by myself or running around on the range or whatever, wearing the big over-ear electronic hearing protection, that's great. But if you're climbing ropes and carrying stuff and putting bags on your shoulder and doing a bunch of crazy things, you're gonna knock it off. And you see it happen, and it's extremely annoying, and it'll slow you down and mess you up, breaks your concentration. These guys go in your ear. There's nothing hanging out to get snagged on anything. I've never had a problem with getting sweaty or whatever and them falling out. They just work. For me, they just work fine. And they're a little bit more than like the Surefire, whatever their in-ear ones are, which those work just fine. Basically, they do the same thing. But I like these, they work fine. So anyway, other than that, let's move on to the guns and the ammo. The ammo is pretty simple. As you can see, I'm sure a lot of you gasped when you first saw this. I am gonna run Tula. Unless something happens and they come up with some weird rule that we can't run this. I don't know why you wouldn't, or why they would do that. I'm just gonna run regular 115 grain Tula 9mm and regular 55 grain Tula rifle. The thought process behind that is what I run in these guns 90 to 99% of the time anyway. Unless I get a box of something that I'm trying to test the velocity out of, or I'm like, hey, I just want to see what I can squeeze as far as accuracy out of this thing. That's what I shoot these guns with, and that's what I'm used to shooting them. That's what they're zeroed for, and I don't have problems with it. I really don't have big problems with getting stuck casings all the time, or failures to feed, fire, or whatever. It works, and if it works, then why not use the cheap stuff anyway? Most of the shots, except for one stage, the shots were all within like 100 yards, right? Most within 50 yards, some within 25 yards. Some, on one of the battles, I think it was like a 15-yard thing. I don't need exceptional, Black Hills 262 accuracy out of these things. I don't need that. I really don't. I really don't. So I'm gonna take a chance, roll the dice, and I'm just gonna run with this stuff. I have some 124 grain pistol ammo that I can't remember exactly where I got that from. I really can't remember, but it's the same ammo that I used last time. It's actually the same stuff, it's just left over. And I almost have enough. I have like 200 rounds of it. You need 250 or 300 rounds. I'm gonna bring it just in case something weird happens and they say I can't use Tula, but that's what I got. That's what I'm gonna run. Speaking of what I'm going to run, and I'm going to run this stuff out of, I'm not changing this at all. Well, I take that back. I think last time I had stock sights. This is the Glock 23. This is the one I shot myself with, but I switched it out and have a 9mm barrel in it. Runs great, runs fine, nothing crazy about it. I have the TLR1 on here because that works with the holster, and in my theory, I don't want to run a comp, even though you can run a comp on the pistols from what I understand. In my experience, running the light actually adds a little bit of weight to the end of the gun. It's not a heavy gun anyway, but it helps a little bit, and just holding your recoil steady, holding the gun steady, getting back on target, it helps a little bit. And if something crazy weird had to happen and I needed a light, well, it's got a light. It is a light. So we did put on, I don't think these were on last time, different sights. These are actual iron sights, right? Not the stupid plastic polymer cheap Glock sights, which worked fine, but my buddy's actually was like falling all over the place. We had to adjust it on the fly, and that was kind of scary at the games. That wasn't very good. But this just has a high vis fiber optic front sight, blacked out rears. It works fine, works well. I have no problems with it. I don't anticipate any problems with it. Hit the Glock and it runs fine. The blaster itself, the big guy, the belle of the ball, as it were. This is cool. Big shout out to Breack Arms. I'm pointing out myself, Breack Arms. Joshua over there. I think he has a partner that I hope his partner's fine with him helping me out with this stuff. I appreciate it, man. But really, a big thank you and shout out to Breack Arms. They've helped me out with this stuff a lot. The lower is the same as last time. I don't think we changed a thing on it. Okay, so we're not even going to talk about that. It's just, well, we will. It's a Geisley trigger. I think it's a G2SE. And then a, Mr. First Tactical grip, an A3, or not an A3, SPA3 brace with a JE Precision, or JE Machine Tech, yes, buffer. And I think it's an H2 buffer with a blue spring or something. This from Springco. There you go. That and the lower parts kit is just a mil spec something. Okay, didn't change from last time. The cool stuff is we have, let's talk about the barrel is from Bear Creek Arsenal, right? That was a 16-inch mid-length gas system. I chopped it down to like a 13.9 to work with Breack Arms 3-prong flash hider, which brings it up to a 16-inch. I didn't pin and weld it yet. I was still playing around with it. That's why it's a pistol lower. But the idea is to make this a rifle, pin and weld it, and then I can run it on a regular rifle lower. But accuracy-wise, it's great. Nothing to like go to a competition with, even though I bring it to a competition, but it's not a precision competition, right? But it's not like I would make a sniper rifle out of this or something like that. It's not what this is for. And it's not an SPR kind of deal. It's an all-purpose gun. Mid-length gas system, it does help tame the recoil a little bit. It's a little punchy, but it's totally manageable. It's totally fine. I think the upper receiver itself, kind of going internally backwards, and then we'll go back up. But the upper receiver itself is just it was a raw aluminum one that I anodized. Kind of got a purplish black hue to it. It's kind of weird, but it works. Parts kit, I don't know, mil spec. Bolt carrier group is, I think, a PSA bolt carrier group. Now we're going still on the inside. The charging handle, that is a Breack Arms thing. That is their Warhammer, okay? We just gave away, I say we, I helped give away and they sponsored it. I think we gave away 4, I think. There's one on Patreon, and then I think it was 3, it was 2 or 3 that we gave away on our 10,000 subscriber giveaway. So that's cool, and it works well. It works well. It's a good charging handle. It's ambi. It's nice and big. It's actually big enough on the right-hand side that if you needed to, you could charge it on the right-hand side. It doesn't get in the way of the forward assist. Left-hand side, it's still big enough you could grab it, you know, with an open hand if you're doing some weird kind of, you know, left-hand malfunction drill thing. I don't know. You could do a lot of different stuff with it, but it's not so big that it's rubbing on stuff and it's messing things up. It's not catching on things. It's working and it's doing what it needs to do. So I'm excited to run this and see if it makes any difference from what I had last time. I didn't have any problems with it last time, but I don't know. There you go. We talked about the barrel, but we're moving back up. The rail is another Breack Arms thing. I can't remember if this is their Warhawk or their Spitfire. I can't remember. I'll try to annotate it somewhere. But it's like a 15 7.5 or something. It's a long, it almost goes right up to the end. It's almost a 16-inch rail. And I like this because it protects the barrel all the way out to here. Originally, I was running a blast shield, which would have been a lot better. For whatever reason, you can't run those. But it fit in here very nicely at the very end, inside the rail. But with the rail being like this, I don't have to worry about, what am I trying to say? With the rail being like this, I don't have to worry about resting the rifle up against something and bending the barrel, or resting the rifle on the barrel. Basically, anywhere where I put this gun, the barrel's gonna be the same. The barrel's fine. It's not gonna be flexing or being interfered with anything. It's fine. I don't have to worry about it. But it works. It's a good deal. Another thing on the inside here, I'm running Breack Arms gas block. It's a clamp-on style gas block. I've never used that. So far, no problems with it. It's been running great. And then their gas tube. These little guys, I pulled these off the rifle I used last time, or pistol, whatever. MGP, CQB, they're just little Amazon special grips, really. This rail doesn't get really hot. It's got so many holes and areas to attach things and stuff, and there's plenty of air flow through this deal that it doesn't heat up that bad anyway. And so this isn't so much as for heat protection, it's just a reference point to have your hand go where you want your hand to go. And if you were able to push this up against something or brace it off something, it's got that little nub there that you can do that with. The sling is attached to a, I don't know who makes eBay special sling loop. Works just fine. The sling itself is another Faro Concepts deal. Their Slingster, I like this because it's easy to adjust, right? I say that now, it doesn't want to adjust, but it's easier to adjust when it's on your body, but it's easy to adjust, which is a big deal when you're having to sling the thing real tight, grab a bag of whatever, or climb a rope or something. You don't want to have to mess with the sling, right? Just like you don't want to holster with all the buttons and jiggles and things to put it back, to take it out. You don't need all that for every situation. This works very well. EOTech 553, I believe it is. That's what we're running for the main optic, for rears and fronts. I can't remember who makes these. These are just the cheapest ones I could find on Optics Planet. They're metal, and I got these in lieu of like Magpul, the Imbus sights, not their Imbus Pro, which would be more money, probably would have been better. These guys are fine at about 100 yards, okay? But I found out that, see how these are supposed to flip down? Well, the front one doesn't flip down anymore because I've bottomed out the front sight post so far that it interfered with the mechanism, and it still needs to come down a good amount. So hopefully if we have really far shots at like 300 yards, really far shots, hopefully we don't have that with irons, because I may not be able to hit it. Or I should be able to hit it, I'm just gonna have to aim like 4 feet high and just hope that I can see my hits. Anyway, that's this gun. Nothing too crazy about it, but we can call it the Breack Arms edition, because they really did help out with a lot of the well, everything they did was the rail, the 3-prong flash hider, gas system, charging handle, and that's most of the upgrades of the upper receiver right there. Okay, so that's that guy. We're bringing a backup gun, just in case some catastrophic thing happens, because God forbid I'm climbing a rope and I fall down and I land on my rifle and I bend it, or something crazy like that. And I emailed them and messaged them because they're being funky about rules and stuff, and I don't want to cause a stir or cause an issue, whatever. But I also don't want to get sent home just because I can't, you know, I break my gun for whatever reason. So they did say you can bring another gun, but you have, I mean, if your gun breaks, then yes, you have to be told, yes, you can go use this gun. You can't just switch out during battles, okay? Or between battles. So my stand-in, my backup is this gun. We were talking about this in another video. This is my 11.5-inch Faxon barrel thing, whatever you want to call this guy. This is basically my inspired airsoft version, kind of Mark 18 Mod 1, if y'all know that gun. Nothing super crazy about it. I'm not going to go into, I've made videos about this gun before, so you can go look those up if you really are that interested. But the main difference is that now we're running an 11.5-inch mid-length barrel from Faxon. Super cool. It's actually really, really cool. I don't know if the video's out yet or not, but this thing shoots smooth, it shoots flat, it's nice. But that's the backup gun in case that guy goes down for whatever reason. This is our backup gun. And then backup pistol. which again, I don't anticipate having to use this, but a backup pistol is this guy right here. This is supposed to be the lifestyle build, I think. The lower's fine. The upper looks kind of really funky because you can't run red dots. So the red dot's off this guy, and he will work. He will work fine if I needed him, but I don't plan to have to use him. I'm just bringing him just in case. Planning on just using the 23. Anyway, guys, I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, I tried to answer all the bigger questions and things that I could think of. If you can think of anything else, if I didn't cover something, let me know. But yeah, I look forward to seeing any of y'all there. If any of y'all are going to the games, the ones in Burnet, Texas on March 14th and 15th, I think are the dates, hit me up, let me know. I really would like to meet any of y'all that are there. I know there's been a couple of people that have seen some of these videos and have been like, hey, you know, I'm going to the one in Louisiana, which I was supposed to go to help out with, but that didn't work out. It was a timing thing, and then I needed childcare, and then it got too late, and it was like, I had to back out of that last minute. Kind of sucked, but it was okay. But this one, unless something changes, we've already paid for stuff, we were ready to go, we're going. Unless something happens, crazy happens, sky starts falling or whatever, then we're going. So if you're going to the games in Burnet, Texas on that weekend, this coming weekend, whichever one this is, March 14, 15, if you're coming to that, look for me. I'd love to meet you, any of y'all that are there, and yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool. All right, there you go. Pretty much it. All right, y'all be good, be safe. Look forward to seeing you, and we'll catch you on the next video.